Hello, everyone, and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pinule, and today I want to help you remember what it felt like to be young. Remember when you were a little kid, you knew how to use your body, and you probably had a lot of fun doing it. You could climb over things, you could climb under things, and you didn't even give it a second thought. I remember watching my mom get up off the floor and thinking, and she was making noise, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, you just get up. So I want us to have that experience again, at least remind ourselves what that feels like. And so we're going to move our bodies in this practice today, but I also want to have you kind of try and have that youthful attitude that I'm so lucky, I know how to move my body, and even if it's limited, try not to focus on that. Try instead to focus on whatever it is that feels good about moving your body today. So we're going to first start out with a little bit of meditation, trying to land ourselves into the present moment and into these bodies of ours. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through our breath. And another easy way to do that is through our sense of touch. So we're going to do both of those. So let's first use our breath and imagine you're inhaling and you're just filling that whole torso with your breath. You can take time or you can just go. And then when you exhale, let it all go. Just drop everything. Even make a sound if you feel comfortable with that. So we'll do 3 of those. Ready, inhale. 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 Nice. All right, so now we'll use our sense of touch. So just start with your toes and grab onto your feet. Just feel that connection, that contact, your hands and your feet. Yep, there are my feet. I feel them. I'm connected to them. Now work your way up your legs. And you could slap, pat, do whatever feels comfortable. Squeeze. That's apparently what I'm opting for today. Being kind. We're not trying to be harsh. We're just really trying to connect with this body that we can sometimes just be off in our minds and forgetting what it feels like to actually be connected to the body. Feel those sit bones rooting down. That might make noise in my microphone. I don't know. You can get the face in there. Get your head, your hair. You can even gently pull on your hair. That feels good. Waking up the scalp. Let's rub our hands together too. Clasp the fingers, palms out, wrists out, squeeze. Nice. Okay, then we're going to spend a little bit of time with our eyes closed, or if that's comfortable, leave your eyes open if not. Just trying to slow down and connect that way. Also, just staying connected with yourself, staying present with yourself, as opposed to thinking about what's on the grocery list. So maybe you notice that sense of touch, or maybe you notice your breath again. Either one of those will ground you, root you into the moment. And just try and release tension. Little kids, especially babies, have 0 tension. Maybe you can aspire to that. Yeah. Just any place where you notice some holding, you can just let that go. Sometimes it can be hard to maintain the focus, which is why focusing on the breath or the sensations in the body is a great way to just stay with yourself. I'll be quiet for about another 30 seconds. And then let your breath start to deepen a little bit more. Imagine you're like a bellows, just inhaling and exhaling, bigger, slow breaths. Sort of bringing yourself back a little more alert. Nice. And then one more full breath. Just imagine that's filling up your whole being. Excellent. All right, so we're going to come down into a child's pose, which might seem like not a surprise. I like to use this opportunity, even though we just sort of had this experience, but to really connect in deeply. Feel that feeling of safety and connected to yourself. And it's a wonderful time to set an intention for your practice if that's something that you like to do. If you need a little support on the modifications for finding a child's pose that works for you, I have a very short video, a little tiny talk on modifications. So you might want to pause and just go over to that and then find out what would make this comfortable and sustainable. So we'll just stay here for a moment. Notice your breath, notice your belly. Notice your hips. Maybe feel them softening, your spine lengthening. Nice. And let's just lift up a little bit. Widen the knees. Reach the hands forward. Get a good lengthening of the spine. I feel like a cat right now, even though this is not a cat pose. You can wiggle around a little bit. Do some just authentic movement. Nice. All right, we're going to come up onto all fours. And we'll do the same thing, a little just wiggling in whatever way your body wants to wiggle. You could come into cat and cow pose. You can wag your tail. You could do some weird combination. Imagine you're a cheetah or a bear. Nice. All right, let's curl the toes under. We're going to push our hips back. Just the hips. Leave the knees bent. Try and make a nice long extension between your hips and your hands. Nice. And then you can work your legs to straight if that works. Keep the knees bent if you need to. And walk them out a little bit. You can have fun. Lift the heels. Wiggle. Kids wiggle a lot in case you didn't know that. All right, now we're going to walk our feet to our hands, or if you're feeling spunky, you could hop your feet to your hands. And then we're just going to find a nice, easy forward fold, starting out with the knees bent. You can hug, you can feel your legs again, feel your feet, feel the mat, wiggle, straighten one leg and the other. We're just working our way into some movement, into getting all the parts oiled up. It doesn't take very long for our bodies to start slowing down. I mean, it happens when we're in our 20s and we stop creating all the things that keep it really young and pliable. So yoga is beautiful for that, helping us retain that. All right, let's come up halfway. Lengthen the spine, reach the sit bones back, reach the crown forward. Nice. And sink back down. Get a nice little flexion in the hip crease, lower back, pelvis. And then we're gently going to just roll our spine up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Coming up slowly all the way up to the top, bringing the head up last. Nice. All right, we're going to do a little bit of waking up of the limbs, and we'll do that from a standing position. So let's just start first by standing on our right leg. Come onto the balls of the foot of the left leg, and just open up the bottom of that foot. And then open up the top, curl those toes out. Whatever you can do is wonderful. It doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to look like a ballet dancer. All right, back and forth, and then we'll just rotate the ankle. If you need something for support, just shift your place to where you feel like you're not going to fall over. We're just making circles with the ankle and a little bend and flex. And then let's take that circle up to the knee. Yes, and reverse. We're going to lubricate every joint you have, I think, in this class. All right, we're going to switch over to the left side, and we're going to come onto the balls of the foot on the right side. And then curl those toes under, opening up the top and the bottom of the foot, back and forth a couple times. Nice, and then rotate, pick a direction, it doesn't matter, and then switch sides. And then bend and flex. And then draw circles with your big toe. It's very tricky sometimes to actually make a circle. You think, I got me a circle. Take some focus. Awesome. Okay, let's bring the feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to take our hands to our hips, and I think this will remind you of something. You probably did this at a music festival recently. Well, actually, probably not, because we haven't been to music festivals. So just nice, big or small circles, getting that ball in the socket nice and lubed. And then we'll switch directions. Nice. All right, we're going to hop our feet together. And we're going to come into a pose called Tadasana, which I love. This makes me feel like a kid because I just go, ta-da. It's also known as standing mountain pose. So find your feet underneath your hips and try and make them parallel. I like to go from the center of the ankle to that second toe. Nice. Just wiggle those legs out for a second. And then with that wiggle, come up your torso. And then let it add the arms and the head. Cool. Okay. So we're going to clasp the hands together. We're going to bring the palms out. We're going to bring the palms up towards the ceiling. Now, if you have tight shoulders like I do, that might, in order to get your hands up to the ceiling, you're starting to stick your hips out or your ribs out or something. Just try and orient that again into the same plane. Your shoulders can do what they can do. And then bring them down towards, away from your ears. Nice. All right, now, so we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. Tippy toes, we called that when we were little. And then release, come on back down, release your hands. Shake out if you need to. Do anything you need to do to reorient, reset. Okay, we're just going to do that again, but this time, if it works for you, we're going to walk around on our tiptoes. Actually, let's just reach our arms straight up, because this really, really reminds me of being a little kid and wanting to be picked up. So imagine there's some giant parent up there who's going to come and pick you up. So reach the arms up. You can lift your gaze here. Come onto the balls of the feet. If that doesn't work to lift your gaze, just bring it forward. That's okay. And then just walk around a little bit. When was the last time you did that you weren't wearing heels? Nicely done. Good work. All right, come back to center, lower down to your heels, lower your arms, and we're going to do one more that is going to help us with movement this way. And I want you to imagine this plumb line from the top of the head down through your perineum, down to the floor. And that is what you're going to try and orient yourself around. So we're going to twist, but I don't want you to be losing the whole vertical alignment piece. All right, so all we're going to do is just start gently, bring your feet a little closer. How about hip width apart? And then we'll just start twisting, reaching up tall with the spine, trying to hug that center line. Yes, and maybe you can go a little bit further. And maybe you can let your arms float out a little bit. And then you can start coming onto the ball of one foot, lifting one heel. You can start to reach up. Whatever feels good and right. It doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. But this is actually including a whole bunch of body parts that are getting loose and alive. And I'm having a little bit of fun, which is really nice because I wasn't really feeling that super playful earlier. I was a little more serious. All right, let's bring ourselves back. So I'm going to come to the front of my mat, and I'm going to come back into a forward fold. You can find your feet underneath your hips again. Find your alignment here, and I'm just going to walk my hands down or slide my hands down. Bend the knees if you need to. If you're feeling tight still, it's okay. Hands to the mat. We're going to step back with the right leg. Curl the toes under, reach the heel back, open up that leg, lift the kneecap, and just find a lunge here. Notice what's happening or not. Being kind to yourself. If this isn't going to work, you can lower the kneecap. You can also take your blocks. If you need a little extra height, or you can take your hands to your knee. All kinds of ways to make these poses work. Wherever you are, see if you can reach that heel back, open that leg, and also lengthen the spine. Nice. I'm going to plant my hands again. I'm going to step my left foot back to meet my right and find a down dog. And you can wiggle it out. You can do whatever you want in your down dog. You can dangle your head. And if you have a ponytail like I do, that's kind of fun. Reaching the sit bones away. Nice. So you can hop again. You can walk your feet. You could tippy toe your feet up to your hands. And then find a nice forward fold, whatever degree. Forward folds is anything that's just closing this angle a little bit or a lot. So even if this is your forward fold, that is wonderful. Nice. All right, let's just roll up again. Let's take our arms up towards the ceiling. Find a little back bend. Imagine you're lengthening the front body. Cool. And then take all that back down into another forward fold. Let your head dangle wherever you are. And then we'll step back with the other leg. Toes are curled under. Heel is reaching back. You can lift that kneecap. That'll help you engage that quad and lengthen that leg. And here again, we just get to pay attention to what's happening. Where are the openings? Where are the sticky spots? Where can you find a little more length? Nice. Let's step back again to a down dog. And then find a way to get your feet up to your hands. And here we're going to find our forward fold, knees bent. Bring that belly down in contact wherever you are. And then we're going to lower our hips. We're going to find a squat pose. Again, any degree, any amount. But maybe it's been a while since you've been into a squat pose, or maybe you just did it earlier today. I don't know. If you can get your heels down, fantastic, get your heels down. If not, you can stick a blanket underneath those heels or a block, or you can sit on a block. I have a squat modification video also, worth checking out. Okay, but we're just playing in our squat pose. So feel free to move around, wiggle around, figure out what's going to work for you and your body this time. It's not an official squat pose. Malasana. Nice. All right, let's go back and forth now from the squat to the forward fold. When we're in our forward fold, let's take the elbows, just grab them and swing a little bit. Let gravity help us out. Nice. Come back to center. Release the hands. Let's come back down to a squat pose. Now, let's see if you can get a little bit of a longer spine while you're in your squat. And back up. Nice. All right. Another way to come up rather than rolling up is to take your hands to your hips and lengthen your spine. See how that feels. All right. Once we're in standing position, let's just wiggle out some more. Okay. So find the center of your mat. You can step your feet out. You can hop your feet out. About a leg length in between is really a wonderful distance to have going here. Nice. Hands to your hips. Really extend those legs, just like you did when you're in your standing position. Engage, lift the kneecaps. Find a neutral pelvis. Find a nice tall spine. Reach your arms out to the sides. Nice. You're making a little star shape. Okay, now I'm going to take my right toes forward and my left toes all the way forward. But I'm keeping my chest parallel with the side of my mat. Then I'm going to reach really long with my left side body. Take my right hand to my hip, take my left hand to my leg, wherever it can reach. This is really a side bend. This is not really I'm trying to get my hand all the way to the floor. So whatever works for you. We're going to move into this triangle pose. But just feel that wonder of a child opening up, stretching, reaching, growing. Reach that arm up to the ceiling. You can look at that hand. Trying to get those arms moving in one nice long line. Beautiful. All right, let's look down at that foot. Have that arm bring you all the way up. Nice. All right, release your arms. We're going to take our legs back to center. We're going to do another little thing in between our triangle poses. So we're going to bring the heels in. Now, you might need to adjust your feet because your knees, what we ultimately want is for the knees to be over the ankles. And if you can't bend a lot, then you might need to bring the feet in. Or if you're really flexible, you might need to bring the feet out. So just adjust, find that. The knees are going to sort of move towards the wall behind you, opening up. Excellent. All right, nice neutral pelvis here first. Then I'm going to take my hands, just slide them down to my knees, and then let my butt hang. Kind of gravity is helping traction my spine long. And you can wiggle. And you can wiggle. All right, I'm going to lengthen my spine. On my next exhalation, I'm going to bring my left shoulder forward, my right shoulder back. Look over that right shoulder. Beautiful. Inhale the spine. Exhale the opposite direction. Let's do one more. Inhale back to center. Exhale, spiral left. Awesome. All right, so really ground those legs because now you're going to bring yourselves back up and back out. Feet are parallel again. Not for long, though. I'm going to take the right toes, face that way. I'm going to take the left toes forward a little bit. I'm going to reach my arms out in opposite directions. I should have done that before I moved my feet. Oops. All right, take those shoulders up towards your ears and then just slide them down on your back. Try and orient your spine vertically. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to reach my fingertips far. I'm going to reach that right side body nice and long. My left hand comes to my hip. My right hand comes to my leg or a block or the mat, depending on your flexibility. Lengthen the spine. Really open those collarbones. Reach that left arm up. If that feels good and right, you can keep it on your hip. You can look up at that hand if it doesn't knock you over. Yeah, just reach, radiate, grow, stretch. Nice. Let's look down at the foot. Have that hand bring you up. Bring your feet parallel. We're going to do one more in the goddess pose or double horseman's pose. So we'll bring the heels back in. Set yourself up for that. Feel this nice neutral pelvis. So the butt's not sticking out anymore. It's not tucked under too far. And just let that sink as far as it'll go. This works, this works, this works. Any place on that continuum that is authentic to you is where we want you to be. All right, let's inhale the arms up, palms facing palms. Now the palms are facing forward. Bring your arms down, reaching out those fingertips. We're going to slide the elbows back. Bring the shoulder blades, or lead with the shoulder blades, really. Try not to lose all the alignment in your vertical body. Nice. And then let's bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling and a little cactus arms. Nice. And maybe your thighs are starting to notice that you've been here for a while, and maybe not. Now, if you need to come out, come out. If you want to add on a little bit more, you can lift one heel. You can lift the other heel. And maybe you can lift both heels. Nice. Beautiful. Lower the heels. Reach up with the arms. Release. Feet are parallel. You can jump your feet together if you'd like, if that would be fun. And just get a wiggle out. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come down to onto our bellies, onto our mat. So just take one hand on top of the other one and rest your head there. Rest your forehead. And then wiggle out your hips. Just let them blob into the floor. And then release. So feel your feet reaching back. Feel you're on the tops of the feet. The heels are headed towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take our elbows to the mat and bring our chin into our hands. I'm not going to do both because I'll squish my microphone. But you can probably see better what this looks like anyway. And just notice what's happening in your body. Imagine you're watching TV on the carpet. Cartoons. And then just kick your feet. So whatever they can do. Try not to let your butt pop up as your feet come up. Just let that be loose. Nice. And then toes pointed up towards the ceiling, legs at about 90 degrees. Just windshield wiper them back and forth. Nice. All right, release the feet down to the mat. We're going to reach our hands forward. Reach those big toes back. Lengthen the left leg and then lift that up towards the ceiling. Any amount. Just feel that nice gentle engagement in your back and lower. Reach the right leg long and lift and lower. Reach your right arm long and lift and lower. Reach your left arm long and lift and lower. So now 2 more rounds. You can either lift both legs, lift both arms, lift alternate or diagonal, or lift everything together. You just choose. If you're going to lift your arms, especially, pretend that you are flying over some city or country. So just coming down in between, resting, but also wiggling if you need to. Nice. All right, take your hands underneath your shoulders whenever you're done with your round. And then we'll just push back down into a child's pose. Knees can be together, they can be wide, whatever works. See if we can release that lower back. All right, then we're going to come onto our backs. So let's reach the arms and legs away from each other. Find a nice long spine. Take a few breaths and let it let it relax down into the mat. I like to reach my heels away, pretend I'm standing nice and tall. Nice. Release your arms. Let's bend the knees. Let's give the knees a little squeeze first. And then release them down to the mat. So I'm going to take my right knee and give it a good squeeze towards my chest. And then I'm going to work it out towards the side, towards the ribs. So I'm opening up my abductor, that inner thigh. Nice. You take your time, you move however slowly, tiny, incrementally it works for your body. And then I'm going to reach my hand around to the outside of that foot, and I'm going to bring that sole so it's facing the ceiling. The shin is vertical, and the knee is now moving down to the mat. Nice. I'm going to gently release that knee, foot down to the mat, and I'm going to bring that left knee in towards the chest and give it a squeeze. And then I'm going to move that knee to the outer edge of my rib cage. And then I'm going to reach around with my left hand, grab the outside edge of that left foot, bring it towards the ceiling. Shin again is vertical, knee moving down towards the mat. All right, let's release that foot back down to the mat. Now we're going to take both knees. So this is called happy baby pose. I just don't like to call it half a happy baby when I'm only doing one leg. So grab your knees and give them a squeeze out to the sides. And then just move them back and forth so that like wiggles your lower back. Nice. All right, then if you're ready, release, take your hands to the outside edges. And then just check out those toes. Feel free to, stick one in your mouth if you can. Otherwise, just notice. It's a nice way to connect and ground back in to your feet. And you can rock from side to side if that would feel good and playful and fun. Let's just imagine. Never mind. All right, let's take the bottoms of the feet together. And then lower that down to the mat. Nice. And then reach your arms over your head, and you can grab opposite elbows, or you can take your hand behind your head. Whatever feels right. And just take a few breath cycles here. Letting things let go. Imagine you're staring up at the clouds. All right, release your arms. Bring your knees back up. And let's just take a few little shapes and wiggles, movements of anything that your body might be asking for. And then we'll make our way into our Shavasana. So just finding yourself in a comfortable position on your back. You can bend your knees if you need to. You can put something behind them, if that would feel better. Palms just softly resting on the hands are resting on the floor with the palms up. Eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Slowly let things start to relax. Notice what's going on in your body. It's going to integrate all that you've done. All that fun. Notice the places where you're still holding tension. I'll be quiet for another minute. And with these next few breath cycles, just spend a little time imagining, trying to visualize, feeling into what it feels like to have a body that is a little more free. Feel into that joy. Feel the freedom in your breath. And then you can start to bring your body back to life. Feel that joy and movement, whatever it is, however much you have or little. Just celebrating whatever you can do. Nice. All right, let's roll ourselves over onto our right side. Just take a heavy breath here. Yeah, let go. And then you can bring yourselves back up to your seated position. And keeping your eyes closed if it feels comfortable. Just reconnect again with those sensations. Touching your body, connecting. How does it feel? Nice. And a few breath cycles, just really deepening the breath again, really filling that being. One more. Nice. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I had fun and I hope you did too. If you like what you see and hear, please consider being a member of our community and subscribe. I would love that. I hope you would too. Have a great and fun, joy-filled day.